Mr. Tara Singh, New Zealand. Miss Maria Di Triana, Mexico. Miss Daria Koval, Ukraine. Mr. Muhammad Fahim Bahaduri, Afghanistan. Mr. Theo Graninglo Benabu, Chile. Mr. Carlos Brito from Timor-Leste. Mr. Wanjiru Matthew Mwangi, Kenya.
So finally I see a brother coming up.
Oh, yeah. You are.
Mr. Gilbert Makoa, Zimbabwe.
Just change channel. Give him another one. Take that, give another one.
Mr. Ashok Kumar Das, England. Mr. Abhishek Sharma, Denmark. Mr. Narit Sukwatana, Thailand. Mr. Shiva Bhakta Sanju, Nepal.
Kabaddi Federation of India Facebook page.
Yeah, I've given some of them.
Mike announce பண்ணுங்க எல்லாம் ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, no problem.
Mr. Manjit Singh, German. Mr. Manjit Singh, German. Mr. Ashwani Kumar. Mr. Arvinder Singh, Holland. Mr. Sahipal Sunil, Norway. Sorry, yeah, Sweden. Sweden, is it? Mr. Faizullah, Tajikistan. Mr. Oryov Kayam, Azerbaijan. Mr. Osama Said, Egypt.
Good job. Habibi.
Go, go, go.
Mr. Abdullah Mustafa Atumani, Tanzania. Mr. Tandio Mori, Mali. Mr. Prabhakar Sharan, Costa Rica.
Thanks for inviting me.
Mr. Rakesh Rati, Peru. Mr. Parminder Mohan Sharma, Canada.
Is UAE and Qatar here? UAE, Qatar here, no?
Noel Dalmeda.
Mr. Kanwaldeep Singh Kamboj, Norway. Mr. Lakshmi Das, West Indies.
I wanted to give you a gift.
Later.
Menu t-shirt later, not here.
Roshan Shetty from Qatar.
Mr. Roshan Chetty from Qatar. Mr. Noel Dalmeda from UAE.
Noel Dalmeda from UAE.
One by one.
UAE finishing.
Mr. Sukhwinder Singh Jasal, Australia. And Mr. Gurum Jagjit Singh, Australia. Can we have both? Can I have Mr. Mohinder Singh and Miss Eileen, both from USA? Mr. Mohinder Singh and Miss Eileen.
Both. Both.
Can I have Dr. Laius Suarez and Mr. Ricardo, Argentina?
Thank you.
Mr. Tang Waiman, Hong Kong.
Sir, ಅದಾಯ್ತಾ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನೋ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನೋ
Mr. Tarek Zatuni.
Hey. No, no tea?
Then first.
No tea, no break. You tell me whenever, I'll make it ready. Okay?
Did I miss anybody?
Vice President from Sierra Leone.
Mr. Gurmail Singh, Sierra Leone. Wait, one more. Mr. Ashok Motwani from Gopio. While we are waiting for it, can we just give away, the Arab Federation wants to give something to both of you.
Come.
Thank you. Keep it.
Just give me a second. Let them finish that.
I was joking.
No worry.
I tried to reach out to you yesterday. At the airport.
Oh, okay. But how did you come? Talk later.
For your information, the entire event is being transmitted live on Facebook, New Kabaddi Federation of India site.
Thank you.
Not required. Done.
Thank you very much, guests.
Proceedings, lad. Friends, we have felicitated delegates from all over the world. The man behind all these World Conference and Kabaddi, none other than S.T. Arasu. I'll request Babu and K.P. Rao to felicitate S.T. Arasu on this occasion.
Attention, please. Now I need your attention. Excuse me. There is still a lot of time for you to take your favorite photos. Please be seated, please. Thank you. Now I want to bring to your kind knowledge that the game of Kabaddi, which was traditionally started in Maharashtra, Kolhapur, very long back in the 1980s. It has reached to such heights where it has gained its entry into the Asian Games. Also, it is gaining popularity, and it is going to, with all your support, it is going to be in Olympics also shortly with your support. For that, there are many people who have served both the country and the states, and they have sweated and sweat their blood and sweat to bring this game to this level. So, the country recognizing their services, they honored them with the most prestigious sports award in the country in India called Arjuna Award. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring some of the, still a lot of people are coming in the afternoon flights from across the country. Some of them are present at this time. So we would like to invite them on the stage and invite and honor them in your presence. Be them a good hand, ladies and gentlemen, give them a big hand.
The first in the list, none other than our own man, C. Honnappa from Karnataka, Arjun Awardee. Give him a big hand. And the great man in Kabaddi, who was captain of Indian team in 1994 Asian Game, who is Arjun awardee, none other than Rajaratnam from Tamil Nadu. Rajaratnam, you are the great player of your era. You shown your skills on the ground. Rajaratnam. Give him a big hand. They are the great players of Kabaddi. In women's section, as mentioned by Babu, game was traditionally started in Maharashtra. So Arjun awardee Shakuntala Khataukar, a great player of women, Arjun awardee, give her a big hand. Shakuntala Khataukar. Rajaratnam, wait for a minute. We'll have a photograph together, all the 4 Arjun awardees. A speed star in Kabaddi area, none other than Maya Akre Meher from Mumbai. That is also in Maharashtra. Maya Akre, Shaku, 2 minutes. Maya Akre Meher, Mumbai. Arjun awardee. Give them a big hand. The first Arjun awardee of this game, Mr. Sadanand Shetty, is coming in the afternoon. So, international players, ladies ke marks. The international players on this Kabaddi arena, first I will call upon Chitra Kerkar of Maharashtra. Chitra Kerkar. Then Shaila Pednekar. Be ready. Martin. Chitra Kerkar. Then Chaya Shetty. Incidentally, luckily, she is my wife. Shaila. She is not my wife. My wife is coming afterward. But she is my sister.
No, Chaya Shetty. Bandra? Success. Success, Bandra. We give the honor for your husband to welcome you. Thank you, Mr. Jaya Shetty.
Now I'll call upon Shailaja Jain, the present Iran women's team coach. The Iran developed a Kabaddi for which Shailaja Jain has a major part. She is an India player. Now she is the coach of Iran team. And she represented Indian country as a player, as a coach. Now I will call upon Kupparaju, international player of Karnataka. Kupparaju. Then I will always also request Ramchandra to get ready for the raid. Ramchandraya, raid ge ready agi. Kupparaju, Ramchandraya, Bunny, Krishne Gowda, a international player from Bhadravati. Krishne Gowda. So, Ramchandraya, retired excise officer. Ramchandraya, Gaudre Banni, Krishne Gowda of Bhadravati. Come. The Krishne Gowda's history is like that. Bhadravati Steel, single-handedly he entered into the finals. He bet many teams. We lost against Bhadravati by Krishne Gowda only. Now I request Mr. Chaprana, a former Indian coach, I'll request Subramani from Tamil Nadu, a Indian team player, to come on the dais to receive our felicitations. Subramani. Chin Swami, my old friend and a great Kabaddi player of Bangalore, HMT Bangalore, Chinswami. Subramani from Tamil Nadu. Your claps are going down now. Why don't you? They are the big players. They are the reputed players of Kabaddi. Chinswami. Now the international players, I wanted to confirm it. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬಂದಿರೋದು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಮೋದ್ ಸಾಳುಂಕೆ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕೋಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಟೀಮ್. Jayvant Bodke, captain of Banks team, we played on international level. Jayvant Bodke from Pune. Keshav Kolekar from Vidarbha, originally from Vidarbha, Nagpur side, and now settled in Pune. Keshav Kolekar. ಹೊನ್ನಪ್ಪ, ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದಾರ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಪೈಕಿ? ಕೇಶವ್ ಕೋಳಿಕರ್. ಈಗ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದ ಸೆಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫೆಲಿಸಿಟೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರಲಿ.
I think we want to start the meeting proceedings. Can we clear the front? So we can start the meetings?
Maipal Singh, international player from Delhi. Sorry. Maipal Singh or Vijender Singh, Indian player from Haryana.
Come on.
Maipal Singh, Vijender.
We would like to continue with the proceedings within the next 2 minutes. I hope the place is cleared up and we can start the meetings. Can everybody please take your seats so we can start? Because we have a long schedule ahead of us and we're already quite late behind. Okay. I'm sure that over the last couple of days or last couple of weeks, we all were wondering what World Kabaddi is about and what needs to be done, our general idea is. The whole idea about why we wanted to form a World Kabaddi as a new body is basically to look at how we can move the sports forward from a very traditional sport, very Asian-centric sports, to something which is more global. When we say global, it's not just ends with Olympics, but how we can go beyond that. Okay, if there's some silence, then everybody can understand what we're going to say. Okay, what we have done is we have prepared a 10-year plan, something which we think how we should move forward in bringing Kabaddi forward from today until the end. Can I have all those non-delegates, if you want to continue a conversation, please go out of the room, you can continue the conversation. Well, next slide. Okay, the strategic plan is for 10 years, between now and 2018. What we are trying to do is to provide a direction and a course of action for the 10-year period, 2018-2018. The objectives, key performance indicators, strategies, have been developed to assist World Kabaddi to achieve its mission, vision and overall purpose. This is not a final thing, this will be something which gives us a basis to discuss later in the other meetings. Next slide. The core should be our values, vision and missions, which means first of all we have to look at leadership. The organization itself, World Kabaddi, will have to be proactive force taking the sport of Kabaddi forward. When I say proactive, it is should not be something where the leadership is dictatorial. The decision is made by just one person or one region. It has to be proactive, which also looks at other continental needs so that we can grow holistically. We are also looking at integrity, which means it has to be fair, transparent and subject to the due process. It is not only on implementation of projects, but also on financial aspects, which means members must get audited accounts every year. So you know exactly where the money is coming in, where the money is going out. So that's the second thing we are looking at. We are looking at excellence, where event systems have to be delivered of the highest standard. Any sports, if you want to market it, it has to have a certain level of how we are going to present the event. If not, we can never move the next step forward. So we have to come up with the SOP, a standard operating procedure for every event, minimum requirements needed for those events. What are the things needed? This has to be distributed to all the members. So we have, once the standard of the events is much higher, marketability becomes much easier. Okay. Inclusiveness, the World Kabaddi structures, activities and deliveries will encompass all irrespective of gender, age, disability or nationality. I think one of the key things we have heard over the last few days when we were talking to each other was the development of the sport is very Asian centric. there's not been much assistance given to the other continents. So here what we are telling is, let us look at it holistically and start moving it forward. Fellowship to foster camaraderie, solidarity and enjoyment throughout its community. Which means when we are working together, we have to work as a unit, as friends, not as rivals, thinking that the other group is going to take over or this group is taking over. No, I think we work as a family, we can achieve the next step forward. Next slide, please. World Kabaddi will lead the sport of Kabaddi to a position of respect in world sport by providing quality competitive opportunities, promoting Kabaddi globally, and leading by example in terms of integrity, efficiency, and inclusiveness. This is our basic vision, that whatever we are going to do, it has to be on the right track, moving forward with all the inclusiveness, transparency, and all these things. That's our vision, overall vision. Next. As I said earlier, the first thing, our mission is to govern, provide national and international Kabaddi competitions of superior quality. When I say superior quality, it's not just talking about the standards are higher, but also how the event is presented, how everything is at a higher level. To organize, implement and structure and process for the sound functioning of World Kabaddi, which means the whole structure of the administration of the body has to be more professional. There has to be some form of full-time paid staff to move it forward. One of the things we always look at, we don't even have proper data of who are the international referees, who are the international coaches, the results of events, all those are not there. So we have to look at, to organize and implement a proper structure, which will need full-time staff to do it. To develop, grow participation of athletes, officials and supporters of Kabaddi worldwide. How we are going to grow the participation of athletes and officials is how we are going to attract the millennials into the sports. So what we are going to do globally, we'll have to look at how we are going to attract new players, how are we going to actually get them to choose Kabaddi instead of choosing another sports. Okay. Promote, inspire media and markets to actively engage with Kabaddi, which means one of the key engagements that we have not done properly is actually social media engagement. Those are things we actually have to seriously look how we are going to promote the event, not only through media but also our own internally system where we can actually generate press releases, video clippings of events which take place not only at the major events but also other smaller events throughout the world. And to represent, move Kabaddi to prominence within the world's major sports organization. Which means Kabaddi's status now, we are not recognized by any international organization which we need to be recognized by. So one of the efforts that we need to look immediately is how we are going to get ourselves recognized by these bodies. Right from IOC to JISF to even the school sports, in university sports bodies like FISU, we have not got all this recognition. So how are we going to get at least one of this recognition to move to the next step? So as we have said, these are our core values: structure, accountability, commitment, integrity, efficiency, which will lead to respect for the sports. Next. Okay, the principle is, number one, although we look any sport as elite sports, I think one of the key structures in the sports is to promote the sport first as sports for all, which means you should have minimal rules, encourage youngsters, children to play the sports for fun. So that becomes a base for us to actually create a wider pool of players. From there we can start choosing elite players. Fair play, to ensure that Kabaddi is free of drugs, violence and cheating. I think that's a core value that we don't have to elaborate on. Harassment-free sports, ensuring that everybody involved in the sports can participate in an environment free of physical, psychological or other forms of harassment. Which means we have to look at how are we going to promote the game in countries maybe which do not encourage women to take part in that sports. So we have to look those kind of values. And equal opportunity, supporting the active participation of both men and women in Kabaddi at all levels. Women make a higher population in the world compared to men. But many sports, including Kabaddi, we have more competitions for men than actually women. So we have to look at how we are going to spread it out. So even when you do a World Cup, what's going to happen to the Women's World Cup? Or we do an Asian Championship or European Championship, is there going to be a Women's Championship, or are we just solely trying to promote the sports for the men. So these are things we have to look at our principles. Non-discrimination, discrimination, ensuring no political, religious, racial or gender discrimination. Which means when we do competitions, we must ensure, we must confirm that every other team is able to participate in the competition. Which means if the country is required to get visa for the competition, the host must guarantee those processes they will actually assist that particular country to come into. Not just say, no, this national policy, we don't have to. We have to look at a policy where when you are running a tournament, any other country which comes to participate there, assistance must be given to participate in that tournament. Environmental responsibility, acting responsibly towards the environment in connection with activities and operations. This is basically, in modern times, we are talking about green efforts. I've seen a lot of events, they do outdoor events. After the event, the whole place is a mess. Okay? You may think that we need not talk this at the World Kabaddi level, but this is part of the things which we have to look at for a greener earth. Okay? Next one. What we will do later in the evening, afternoon is either we adopt the plan as in toto, or whatever information you all have inside, we include into the thing and adopt it. So this will be the Bible for every country with us, which means you have to start following those KPIs to move forward. We implement the strategies, and possibly at the end of the plan, we start reviewing how many percent of those things we have actually achieved. Because if we don't have a target, it is just a continuous process which nothing is achieved. So by 2028, we have to review back what are the strategies we have done, what is the effect, how have we move forward. And then we review and do the next stage plan for it. Okay, next one. Okay, as I said earlier, the governing World Kabaddi is you have your office bearers, yes, but the office bearers are only policy makers. You need a professional setup where staff who are paid, consultants are there to actually move forward. If you look all the big sports associations, right from FIFA and even badminton, they have huge staff of professional people actually managing the day-to-day affair. Office bearers in the federations only come up with policies. Okay? And also to develop specific committees and working groups for all types of Kabaddi, which means the concentration is not going to be on national style or just on circle style, but we have to look across the board, where we have to look at national, circle and beach, as well as technical development. And how we're going to do this, because at the end of the day, if you look at football went into the Olympics just as football. Then they brought in futsal. Then they brought in beach soccer. Same thing with volleyball. They started with normal volleyball. Now beach volleyball is also there. So we have to look where is our strength. Which is the best way to get into Olympics. To get in the Olympics, it need not necessarily mean, I know as Asians, we all feel national style is the best format to get into Olympics. If you look at a lot of the European countries which is concentrated on circle Kabaddi, their idea is circle Kabaddi is the best to get into Olympics. For those who are doing from islanders, they think beach Kabaddi is the best. But we need a task force which will actually identify which of these three formats will actually give us the best chance to get into Olympics. There's no point of us fighting over our personal affinities, which means we have to identify among these three which the world body should do, discuss and see which form of Kabaddi is better equipped, will actually attract the millennials, will actually give us the better footing to get to Olympics. And we should do more concentration on that at worldwide level. But we continue with whatever form that we are already doing, continue with it. Okay. Highly developable ethical infrastructure, which means we have to have a codes of conduct for everybody. Whether you are a coach, you are an official, you are a player, or salaries being paid, all this must be put into documentation, and we must follow those documentation. Not at our whims and fancy, we just decide, I don't like your face, I'm getting you rid out of the group. So we have to have proper codes of conduct, and we have to define and empower an ethics and disciplinary commission. With globalization, you will have tournaments which are going to take place in different parts of the country. Players are moving around. What kind of disciplinary action is in place? In case a player plays in, say, in Germany, beats up an opponent player, the current structure, they can come to Malaysia, play in another tournament, there's no sanction against them, which is the wrong process we are doing. So we need to start this code of conduct, have a disciplinary commission which will start looking after the whole scope when it comes to international tournaments. Obviously, there's also need to have a coaching and officiating, accreditation, develop and optimize. We know at this present time, we don't even have a proper syllabus for coaching. We don't have a proper syllabus for technical development, which means not proper, we don't have any. Whenever you need a coach, you have to send someone, come to India, try to attend a course here and go back. But we do need to have at a world level our own syllabus, and we start training the trainers in each country. By doing that, each country will be self-independent. You don't have to rely only on one focal point, but you can actually have your own trainers trying to train. So you actually create a bigger pool of coaches in your own country at a much lower cost. You don't actually have to send them overseas. You don't have to bring somebody else from outside to pay extra allowance. You already have a trainer. So the target within the next 10 years is to ensure that every single country within the federation has a trainer who's capable to train another coach to become a trainer. That's the only way we can actually move forward, instead of just looking at short-term gap, just bringing one top coach for 2 months. That's all stopgap measures. So we are looking at how we can actually come up with that, and that will take some time because we need to actually get the experts within that sports or formation. So if it's talking about Circle Kabaddi, you have their syllabus will be very much different from national style, and the syllabus for beach will be different. So we have to look holistically all three formats to have an accreditation for that. Next. Financial security and integrity. To achieve turnover and margins, to professionally manage the association and events via execution of documented business plan and consolidate existing Kabaddi commercial partnership, initiate partnership with larger multi-sports providers. What I'm telling is, we cannot afford to just, when people give us money, say they give us 1 million, we spend that 1 million without a proper plan, without thinking how the money should be spent. Every cent spent should be accounted for and should be spent only on the basis of the returns. What we are getting from that expenditure is much better, not financially first place, but it actually helps to develop the game. Second thing is to how with that 1 million we can actually generate income to increase our sponsorships. So what we actually need to do, we have existing Kabaddi commercial partners. I mean, each country has their own commercial partners. How can we consolidate this and move it forward at the next level? Okay. Next. A comprehensive international Kabaddi calendar, which means later today I think all the regional bodies are meeting together on your own side. What we need to do is come out with a proper structure of international competitions, put into a calendar. People should know in advance, at least 6 to 12 months, these are the major tournaments going to take place the next year. If you are in 2019, people should know the European Championships is happening this date, the Asian Championships is happening this date. And it has to be structured in such a way that we are not going to conduct tournaments at our whims and fancies whenever we have only money. It has to be standardized, assuming you do a World Cup in 2018 and you decide every 4 years you must have a World Cup. That must be put on a structure. So any new host will know 2022 there's a World Cup coming, I may want to take up, and I start looking for the sponsors and funding and all things. So that structure is not available now. We'll have 1-2 World Cup, one after the other 2 years. The next 5 years nothing happens. So instead of that, we should actually have a structure where, whether it's national, circle or beach, whether it's Asian level, Oceania level, let's come up with a proper calendar put it on writing, put on our website, anything, and everybody knows these are events available, including special events. Then it makes it easier for us to actually plan how we are going to move forward. For the sake of Asian Games, we have national style competition there. So the calendar, that being the biggest tournament in Asia, that calendar should actually look at how we can actually develop the teams towards Asian Game. And yesterday I heard from the Pan American countries that they want to try to get into the Pan American Games because they have enough teams now to actually apply for the thing. So how are we going to structure our calendar so that when they go for Pan American Games, they have enough competitions to be very competitive in that competition. And then, we have to initiate regional level events in the first 2 years, which means where we do not have regional events, we have to start it. Like Oceania, you're talking about Australia and New Zealand. But if there are some of the islands are available, we should start even with 2 or 3 teams. We have to have a structure where we said, okay, every 2 years, this Oceania Championships is going to take place. Same thing with Central America, same thing with South America. So we have to start this. Only then we can start moving forward. Next. Commencement of higher order international competition. Initiate a regional series or League of Kabaddi. Initiate a World Series League of Kabaddi. Basically to start looking at beyond the other competitions being held. So maybe one of those things is to start a league so that we can actually generate income, ensure players have continuous competitive competitions to go on. Expanded Kabaddi representation in games and festivals. As you know, Kabaddi at multi-sports event at this point of time is only in 2 games, Asian Games and Asian Beach Games. It was in the Asian Indoor Games that has been taken off, so there's only 2 games where we don't have the games in European multi-sports event, South American multi-sports event, Oceanic multi-sports event. Kabaddi is not in all the. So our target should be actually how are we going to get into these multi-sports events, and also to look at the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games. FISU is the University Games. How can we initiate and move forward to these games so that we have that extra footing at the international level? Enhance quality control of international championships and events. What it says is we have to have an event manual, which means when we put an event manual, there are standards in it. There are also timings in it. Sports, I always tell people, sports is about time. If you are 1 minute late for any event, say for 100 meters dash, they don't wait for you. So we have to inculcate that culture into the system, where when we do our events, there should be a SOP which says, okay, this is what should be done. If you are doing prize presentation, this is the format. If you are running the competition with 16 teams, what's the minimum requirement of courts that you must have? If you have 8 teams, what's the requirement of courts you must have? What's the requirement of lighting for those events? We have to put that all in writing so everybody starts following the same system, and you will see that the whole marketability of the game goes higher. Next. Apart from doing the international calendar, we also have to look at doing non-national level Kabaddi events calendar. These are more invitational events, which means we have to start creating invitational events to increase our profile. One of the very famous events, I know, those who play cricket, Ashes, have been going on for 100 years. It's only 2 countries take part in it, England and Australia. They play it every year, they alternate. But everybody outside that 2 countries still follow that competition very closely. Why can't we start creating those kind of test matches between countries? Maybe India and Pakistan can start their test series. Malaysia, we could start with Singapore. Australia could start with New Zealand. It need not be a single match, but it could be a series of match where you create your own event, but it helps in your camaraderie between those countries, but it also increases the number of competition available. Okay. Obviously, as I said, if we want to move towards Olympics regulation now is they are looking at sports which are millennial orientated, which means the youngsters are orientated to it. That's why you see in the next Olympics in Japan, wall climbing is there, rollerblades is there, skating, all are there because those sports actually attracts the youngsters. So one of the key elements which Olympic now requires is you have to show them that Kabaddi actually attracts the youngsters across the board. Then they will say, yes, that's one additional criteria that we have to move forward. So we have to look at ways how we can actually inculcate and help the younger students to come up. While we may think that it's important to do world level international events, I think it's also very important that we also have student games. Whether it's university level or under 19 or under 17, those have to be initiated. And we have to modify events to target the youth. I'm not remember, somebody was telling me that people are not attracted to the national style because there's just too many rules. Too many rules which people don't understand. Those who play, they understand the rules, but people who watch for the first time, they don't understand what's happening. So we should also look at ways how we can modify these games to attract the youngsters. I'm not telling that it will be the competition, but this modification helps them to start the game. And then we can move forward to the next step. Next one. Gender equality, I already spoken about it. Let's go next one. Okay, we have to identify triggers for Kabaddi growth, conduct research, integrate those information into marketing and operational events. What we have done is, there's never been a market research when we do an event. Which means, when you do an event, who are the people who are actually watching those events? What is their age group? With those data, and also maybe their income level and all things, with those data, we can actually sell the product to a sponsor. Sponsorship now is not about just going to a sponsor, or I'm doing World Cup, can you come and sponsor? No. Sponsors are looking at, if I come and sponsor your event, who are the people watching your event? If I advertise my product into that event, how am I going to benefit? That's why when you see like sports like tennis and golf, you see Mercedes-Benz coming in, BMW coming in. You don't see any of the smaller cars advertising in golf events, because the demographics, they know that that particular events attracts the richer people. So we have to tailor-made, get those market research done. Who are the people actually watching it over TV? Who are the people actually coming to the ground to see? And from that, we can actually identify which are the sponsors we should actually tackle. Not just blindly going and telling them, I got a big event, you have to come in. So that's why I said market research is very important. We have not done it in any events in Kabaddi. So that's one of the things that World Kabaddi, whether we have to come up with a strategy where the full-time staffs who come in the future look into those things. Next. Broaden National Federation Network. Basically, we want to leverage athlete participation growth at each national sporting authority level. Basically, what you're telling is, we have to look at how we are going to increase the number of players playing in each country. Okay, when we want to do that, then again it goes into, we have to study how we are going to develop the game, which sport is more attractive in which country. We are not going to, which format. As I said earlier, if you want to go and sell national style Kabaddi to Hawaii, it will be much more difficult compared to trying to sell them beach Kabaddi. So we have to look at which is the way we can actually increase the number of participation. After that, they can actually start focusing on which different formats. The main idea initially is to tap people to come into the sports and then introduce them to the 3 variations of the game. Next. Okay, accreditation, setting up proper international level accreditation, prepare manuals for coaching, review rules based on studies on players from across section of the nation. I had some chat over the last couple of days now with some who were telling that the weight category of players must increase. It's too low. But to do those kind of changes, you need to have a study of every country within our thing and find what is their average weight category. I did say, with 1.2 billion people in India, if 1% of those players play Kabaddi, is about 12 million people. You can find players who are from 70 kg up to 120 kgs. You take a smaller country like Singapore, 2.6 million. If 1% play there, it's only about 2,000 players. And you are not going to get players of bigger size or smaller size. So we have to have a study of the physical appearance of players from different countries and come out with the proper weight categories. Not just decide tomorrow, oh, I think 85 is better, or I think 90 is better. It should not be on that whims and fancy. Rules should be changed only based on a proper study is done. If you all follow badminton just change the rule where your service have to be 1.1 meters from the ground. If you put it higher, they fault you. They did not have complete study. They implemented it about 3 weeks ago, and every other player start complaining about it, because there was in all England there was one player who was faulted 10 times in that game. You're faulted 10 times, you lose 10 points. There's no way back for you. So that's why rules have to be changed based on collective research done by in all the countries. Yes, you can find bigger size players in Europe, but there are also players who don't even come 3/4 of their size when you come to the other side of the global, the world. Okay, so this is something I'm telling. Next one. Differentiated World Kabaddi product. Whatever Kabaddi has been sold up to today is something which has been done. What we need to do is, how are we going to brand the game, the sport differently? I know yesterday Prabhakar was telling how, Prabhakar, are you around? Okay. He was telling me how in his next movie he may want to include where the people are watching Kabaddi in the movie itself. These are the types of things that we have to look at, how we are going to brand Kabaddi to a next level of things, which means social media engagement. We have to think outside the box. Anyhow, how are we going to push it forward? If we have friends in the advertising agency, tell them to pitch to their client to sell their products using Kabaddi team. So it is something which you have to do continuously. So we have to rebrand the whole product. Stop what you have done, or not stop, but just recreate a new concept and pull that brand as together. That's one of the reasons when we did the logo. If you look at the logo, some people say, what is this? Okay, let me just explain why we wanted the branding to be used. You all know the history of Kabaddi. Okay, they said it started from the war time, where they used to have the Chakravayu formation. Chakravayu formation is basically circling. If you look at this logo, this is the radar. You have 7 people actually encircling. So we did not go for a logo which was very ancient. We wanted something which encompasses the history of the game, but looks dynamic. The colors are exactly the colors of Olympics. Every color is there. So we actually, what we are looking at is, we have to start branding this all over. When people see a FIFA logo, they know it's football. When they put a FIBA logo there, it's FIBA, they know it's basketball. So we have to start branding this on all our products. Then you have a single identity. When people see it, yes, this is Kabaddi. Okay, okay, next one. Promoting media and market development, extensive online presence for Kabaddi, media resources, activities, online pressure. What I'm telling is, at this point in time, we don't have media presence. When we do tournaments, it's very scattered. Sometimes we post on Facebook, but we have to have a structured, maybe a singular website where anybody's event anywhere in the world, you should be able to actually project it into that. Whether it's a live video or an archive video, or just results based information, we have to start doing that. Doesn't matter what level. So what happens is everybody who wants to know about Kabaddi come to a single site. From there you can link to your country sites. We have to start creating that. Extensive use of social media tools. Okay, that's the other thing we want to do. I attended a seminar a couple of months back. They were talking about footballers, where I think, I'm not sure whether it's Ronaldo or something. He went into the bus. He came down again from the bus, saw a small boy, took a t-shirt and gave to him. So the guy who was presenting the thing, do you think that was staged or genuine? For people who see the video, they think, oh, Ronaldo, the player is such a great player, he's coming to the thing. But it gives positive promotion to the sports. But he said, you will never know, maybe it was staged. They wanted that presence to use the social media to tell people how his outlook on the sports. So we have to look at how we are going to use the social media to promote athletes. To promote the sports, it's not promoting me or you. We have to promote the players. People must identify with the players. When I say Ronaldo, Messi, everybody knows football. Even now, I cannot tell you one player who's actually known worldwide. So we have to start promoting the athletes. Because at the end of the day, any sport is non-existent without the athletes. We tend to like to promote ourselves, put our face in front of everything. That does not sell. That does not help the marketing side of it. We have to put the players' prominence. Even when you're doing a billboard, something, put the players while they're playing those things. It actually helps to enhance and it gives information about the players. Okay. Gather data to verify online penetration, which means when you have a website, you must go back to the back-end technology, the management side, and look how many people actually come and visit that site, how many people actually saw the Twitter or followed the Instagram picture. So this data is very important. Network and extend online presence via regional coordination. This is what I'm telling. It's not, we should not be looking at each region just working on their own. When I say region, I'm not talking about like Asia and all that. Even in Asia, there must be a general coordination between East Asia, Southeast Asia, Central Asia. We have to coordinate and see how we can actually push the presence further. Next. Gather online address and other data and diffuse to national and regional federation for local marketing actions. A lot of sports, they have people who actually do their own blogs and websites about that particular sports. I think even in Kabaddi, there are a lot of people who actually do their own. It has nothing to do with the federation, it's just out of their thing. But we should actually start to tap these blogs to promote ourselves. We have not been doing that. We just leave it off. That guy is not involved in Kabaddi, we don't need him. But there are a lot of blogs which actually does a much better job than some of the federation. So how are we going to gather them? So which means we have to have that presence again. Next. Media impacts integrated with the World Kabaddi business plan. Present media data as part of commercial partner offerings. This event has been sponsored by private sponsors. Okay, 2 private sponsors. On the assumption this event is sponsored, say, by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola wants to know what was our penetration of this event. Yes, we have a Facebook page going on. How many people actually came in there? Tomorrow we have to look what are the newspapers this event has been covered. And give them, look, by paying $1, you got the event covered in this paper was worth $100. That's what sponsors want to know, because it gives them that whatever they've given, there's a return of investment for them. So we have to start compiling whatever newspaper articles, whatever TV articles, and if you go to a TV newspaper, they'll actually give you, if you want to advertise one full page, what is the cost? Say it's $10,000. If the event is covered in one page, which means the sponsor, without paying $10,000 to the newspaper, got coverage for $10,000. So those are things we have to gather those data information. And when we present it to the commercial partners, The next year they will say, okay, since our penetration is so high, why don't we increase it the next year? Okay, next. Again, how are we getting into Regional Olympic Association and IOC recognition? Which means we have to have a complete infrastructure, operational development, IOC and ROA standards. What they mean is, to get into Olympics, we have to be a member of GAISF first, the Global Association of International Sports Federation. To get into that, we must have 40 countries represented in 3 continents. Registered association, only then can we apply. But that's only the first criteria. They would also like to see what's your structured competitions you have been doing. What you have actually been doing, very structured. They want to know when was your regional competitions, when is your world competition. They want to know what have you done to develop youth. They want to know what's your plans for the next 10 years. So there's a lot of paperwork to be done. So to do this, now what we need to do is actually come out with a task force within the group who are here and work towards this as quickly as we can. The moment we get recognition, then it makes us takes us a step closer to applying for Olympic recognition. I'm not talking about getting into Olympics. Just recognition, which means they recognize you as a sport. There are a lot of sports which are recognized by Olympics, but they're not played in Olympics now. That's only the first stage. So to get to the first stage, we have not even taken the first step. Hopefully today we can come up with this and then take the first step towards this recognition. Next. There are a lot of other organizations where we can actually put our foot in without much difficulty. One of it is TAFISA. TAFISA is the Association for International Sports for All. This, the moment we are registered, we can actually apply straight away. They will give an affiliation. And this is one of the more recognized sports for all organizations in the world. They are also recognized by IOC and gives us an immediate status that we are recognized by an international organization other than at Asia level or something like this. Truly goes to international level. Okay. I told this earlier, but Sports Accord is basically GAISF, where you need the 40 countries. Next. This is the other thing which we do not have now. If you all remember, some of you participated in the World Cup in Punjab. Even before going, I think about 20 over Indian players were caught for doping. Okay. One of the problems here is none of the Kabaddi organizations that we have actually a signed contract with WADA to show that we are compliant with doping. That is also one of the requirements when you want to go to JISF or the thing. They want to know that you are being compliant for doping. So this is the other thing that we have to look at and quickly move in. When we do our constitution, this has to be incorporated into it. Next. Okay, I've actually given a list of KPIs where how we have to whatever we do, there must be a key performance index. If we say we want to gain 10 pounds within the next 10 days, then our key performance index is basically how much of food we are eating every day. Okay. Same thing, we have to create a key KPI, and then that's the one we are going to review. I'll just give an example. Rules and regulation. Our goal and strategies is to review, recommend amendments to the rules, regulation and policies to ensure the homework, structures and process for good governance. Okay, basically the whole organization. How are we going to judge whether we have done it? Which means the rules must comply with the World Kabaddi statutes, World Kabaddi policies to be adhered, relevant amendments on the annual body agenda. Which in every time we have an annual meeting, when we gather like this, we should be actually reviewing those things. Next one. The next thing we are looking at, annual general meeting. Okay, to ensure well organized annual general meeting in compliance with the World Kabaddi statutes, which means we follow exactly like that. What the KPI we are looking at is increased participation of member association. If today we have 50, our next meeting shouldn't have 40. We should be actually looking at how have we increased the number of countries to participate in the next AGM. that's what gives us the growth. Next one. Okay, I don't really want to go through one by one because we are actually running short of time. This booklet is already in all of your this thing. Please look through. Maybe later when we meet again, we can actually discuss how to enhance this whole strategic plan and adopt it. Then we are in the first step to moving forward. Okay. We are actually a bit rushed now. It's 1 o'clock. We were supposed to have the regional meetings now. Okay. Are you all hungry or you all want to continue with the next agenda? Okay. What we actually wanted now is we wanted each of the continent to sit down among yourself, maybe each of this corner in this thing, to actually discuss your own issues, come up with your own lineup for your federation, whether it's Oceania, whether it's Europe. The World Federation Regulation basically we have drafted. I just to give you an idea, whoever comes as the president of the regional body becomes an automatic president of vice president of the world body. Okay, to ensure that there's more participation across the board, we have said that no more than one person from one country can be a member of the council of the world body. So that will ensure that there are already 5 continents, 5 countries already represented as vice president. You'll have the president, you have the secretary, you have the treasurer, and you have about 13 council members. So you have an additional 16 countries which will actually be a member of the council. So there will be no duplication, that you have the same guys sitting everywhere. Okay? That's the only thing we are looking at. I think we have also given the draft constitution for each of the continents. If the continent already has a federation already formed, all we are looking forward is whether we can actually get those constitution in line with this constitution. I know it's not good. So we are looking at each continent to sit down among yourself to look into it. We will provide someone to take down minutes if you all need for that particular each of you all. So we'll take a 5 minutes break and then we'll see where we can gather and all thing and continue with the next agenda.
So continents, please be with your own members, sit together, consult each other, and then come with a concrete proposal to be put up in World Kabaddi.
Attention everybody please. Attention. We have a very important announcement to make for the development of the Kabaddi at international level. We request all to be seated please. I even want the people who are outside also to come inside and take your seats please.
Okay, just okay, just to before you all go in, we just have one good news just to share. We have basically a conditional more or less sponsorship, someone has come forward to promote Kabaddi. Okay?
Shall I tell you? Shall I announce?
I will allow the host, Mr. Prasad Babu, to announce the details of it.
Shankar, can you please put this on the screen, please?
First phase. Next one.
Shankar, the one I sent you on the Facebook.
Next one. Next one.
Facebook regarding the company. We have a very interesting proposal from the United States of America from a company called Molex. This company has a huge turnover. Basically, they have their interest and investments in the country of India. Fortunately for the game of the Kabaddi, they have come forward to sponsor the game of Kabaddi till it reaches the heights in the Olympics. Shankar, WhatsApp al kalsiddi nodi, WhatsApp al. Regarding the company and what actually the company is into. Yeah, that's the company. Molex is yeah, we will tell that everything in detail in the afternoon. I'll be very short due to some technical snack there. Kabaddi is our national pride. We are excited to announce NTR World Cup in Kabaddi in honor of the memory of 10th Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Nandamuri Taraka Rama Rao. He is an actor turned politician and he became the Chief Minister of Andhra State. This Molex company, which is based in US, they have their interest and investment in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Now they have come forward to help Kabaddi to reach the heights in and also get entry into the Olympics. For that, they are allocating 500 million pounds. You can give a big amount. Sorry, 500 million euros. 500 million euros, which is a very big amount for a game which is limping into the Olympics. For the promotion of the Kabaddi around the world, these funds will be deployed to support players, awards, matches, and Kabaddi organized by One Earth League, which is a sister concern of Molex, with the guidance and leadership of World Kabaddi Council, which you gentlemen will be forming now, to see and ensure the inclusion of the game of Kabaddi in Olympic Games. The main root cause for Molex to encourage traditional games is support the mission of World Kabaddi Council, that is you. And also Kabaddi to be included in the Olympic Games where they are ready to sponsor to any extent to get this game in the game of Olympics. And also empower players of all ages with stipend, scholarship and many more to support and to give more academies into the rural places and sports academies to promote the game of Kabaddi and to coach them and to send many coaches worldwide wherever the country is interested. Create sports facilities to enable holistic growth and also to see that there is no hindrance of financial strain for the smooth sailing of Kabaddi into the Olympic Games. Now my friend, the co-host is going to address this conference. Thank you.
Dear Kabaddi family members, actually elder brother has to announce as a host. Myself is a partner of this company. I am representing from India from this company. I made the arrangement for this amount. They trusted us because of our services. They are providing these 4,000 crores of rupees in Indian currency and 500 million euros in the euro currency. This is for all the countries to develop Kabaddi in the world. This money goes to World Kabaddi. From there, it will go to continents. From there, it goes to countries as per their requirement, as per your demand, as per the DPR, detailed project report. Once you are submitted the World Kabaddi, this amount will be sharing with you. Meanwhile, my humble request to you, when you are going back to your country, first you register your company, you start your entity, then you submit the papers, then we will work together to share this money to develop the Kabaddi from school level to national level. This is our commitment for Kabaddi. Our ambition is to Kabaddi to include in the Olympics. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we are also the Federation, New Kabaddi Federation of India in India is interested. Once you form the body, world body and Asian body and all Pan-American, Oceania, African and Australian bodies, we want to introduce for the first time Kabaddi game in the universities. So we will be conducting, we are interested in conducting and we require the permission of the world body to conduct university games in Kabaddi in India in 2019. Thank you. I request all the 5 continents to have a discussion among yourselves to see that you elect your leader from your respective continents. In the meantime, we are preparing for the lunch also, so it will be very comfortable for you people to have a brief meeting and announce your president, secretaries, etc. in 20-25 minutes. Thank you. I request all the ex-players and Arjunavadis to please leave the auditorium and make space for the international delegates to have their own discussions. Thank you. I request only the delegates from the 5 continents to be present here and the rest you may please go out for lunch. Thank you.
Check, check, check. Check, check. Check.
Hello, 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 hello.
I know you. Who are you representing? That I don't know because you have to check with Harish. Harish, you have you also.
इनको कहाँ जाना? Where here?
Can we have the Asian countries all here? Asian countries. Where? There. There. Then we'll take there. That is.